is a song that we talked about earlier, Nzira, Masoja. I think if we really understand between ZANU and ZIPRA, their agenda in fighting Ian Smith and his regime, we could understand the true meaning of that song, Nzira Masoja. To those people who were born after, if they could talk to some of the family members or elders around the community, ask about the song Nzira Masoja, what it meant, how serious it was, all that kind of stuff. I think we could learn so much. And when I listen to that song every time, sometimes when I play it in the house, in the car, I think about the committed leadership back then in the 70s. And not just in our Rhodesia then, but in the frontline states, the type of leadership that we had. Samora Machel, Robert Mugabe, Joshua Ngomo, Julius Nyerere, Kenneth Kaunda, all these people, Lumumba, and so and so and so. These leaders were very much committed to liberate the people and their countries. Period. They had nothing more than that. From there, what other topic we can put on our discussions? It's a topic that will be deliberating on very many things, which will boil down to many arguments to do with this person has a lot of money, he can do whatever he wants with his money, and nobody should govern him, and all that kind of stuff. And once we start talking like that, then we are totally off the track of what I just started talking about. And I was very much impressed by Thabo Mbeki, one of the elders who grew up during those times with his foundation, where he goes to these institutions to educate and to teach. And I'm just saying to educate and to teach two different things, the youngsters. What Africa was yesterday, what Africa is today, and what we maybe expect or want Africa to be tomorrow. But we are mixing all this. That we are going to we are not going to tolerate nonsense that is destroying us every second. And this is the reason why we have some kind of iconic leadership in Burkina Faso today, and everyone is paying attention because this leader came in through the coup, but he did it for the people and the country. But today we are focusing on materialism that is consumed us and waste in our Zimbabwe. And I'm very sure, my brother Scotty and everybody, you can tell where I come from, my kind of generation. We are consumed by materialism. And that materialism, we academize it. We talk a lot of beautiful jargon so that we can make a lot of sense in what we are presenting. But at the end of the day, we are going to have all our leadership across the board, not just in Zimbabwe, but across the board in Africa, becoming the likes of Robert Mugabe. At the very end, they'll be weeping because they will not achieve anything. But in Zimbabwe, it is very different because it is explicitly clear now that everybody is actually on the point of we are in for materialism, guys. Nothing for the people. We don't care. Come in, make money. So we can talk about Zenzele. We can talk about Mukanya here in USA, all that kind of stuff. But that's not the point. We are leaving the point outside. The real point is what we are failing to address and talk about. Today we are talking about Zenzele. We are talking about Mukanya. Yesterday we were talking about Matimadanda. We're talking about, we talk about what is current, but we are not talking about the issues. And when we look into the nations that are doing well, where most of us sitting here in this space are located, they don't talk about the just current. They talk about their background. Then they can put current in their discussions. But for us, basically for Zimbabwe, we focus on the current. Zenzele, Mukanya. Why should Mukanya not take that money? And if Mukanya is saying, no, I'm not going to take that money, everybody's going to say Mukanya is very stupid. But is it true that Mukanya is stupid? Is it true that Mukanya is not iconic? Yesterday, was it true that Morgan Changirai was not a leader that we could look up to? Some people would say he was not like Leonard. But all these things are not worth talking about. Let's look into our real issues. When we went to fight for our country, Zimbabwe, we are totally off that track. And it is clear, it is rampant today, and everybody knows it. But we are all grouping around the fakeness that we all know is all fake. So I'm not gonna really specifically talk about the issues because everybody has talked about very important issues. And let me
Yeah. I'll just give you
finish
one
by,
minute, 30 seconds to land, Komamroj.
yeah, sure. Let me finish by what Signor normally says in the spaces when I attend and listen. Benjamin Burombo, when he says we pull each other. If Scotty is not talking along my lines, I'm going to pull him down. I'm not going to support his great ideas. And that way of thinking is exactly what we come to be discussing every single day. And we leave the important issues alone. And we are going to keep running in circles. And it's just very unfortunate for who we are, coming from where we come from. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, my leader, the powerful one, yeah. Dr. Nyat, are you there? Dr. Nyat? Okay.
We want to
Sorry,
propose.
Scott. Sorry, Scott. Can I say
I'm
something very,
coming,
very
I'm
important
coming. I
that
got
you...
my line up here. You're going to speak, GD Travel, you're going to speak. And those people, they come a long time and they've been waiting for quite a long time also. So yeah, so I'm coming to you. Dr. Nyat 1, Dr. Nyat 2, Dr. Nyat is not there.
I'm there,
Okay.
Kumaskot.
So it's you, then we go to Conseini, Anga Dropa, then we go to GD Travel Signor. Yeah. Go ahead.
So
Ongwado Nash, Tatatopa your
yeah,
time to Dr. Nyat, but go ahead.
I thought I was blocked. I'm sorry. Okay, so I think morals, ethics, and principles, and a bit of common sense should tell you that you should not accept such gifts. That's what it should tell you. But then I also don't get the logic because we are saying we are saying we want to liberate ourselves from this system, from these people, but at the same time, we don't have enough fortitude to resist scars and gifts from the same people. We are telling people to accept such gifts from the same people that you're saying we want to liberate ourselves from. We're like creating a dependency from those same people. So how are you going to be able to liberate yourself if you cannot just resist a car or resist gifts from the same people? It's not making sense to me because liberating yourselves requires a certain amount of fortitude. It requires resistance. It requires not giving in to temptations. And if we are ever going to get there, it starts from somewhere. And I'll give you an example. It starts, yeah, I receive a car from a corrupt person or from a corrupt group. I say no to it. I resist. And that's the only way I think it's not possible to liberate yourselves if you cannot just resist the simple things, materialistic things. It's impossible. Just imagine citizens from a great country, a great high trust society, or a principal country like Japan or maybe Singapore discussing that discussing about collecting gifts from the people that they are against, from the people that they are trying to dislodge. It doesn't make sense to me. So if we are not principled, if we cannot stand on something, if we have no backbone, if we don't have enough fortitude to resist materialistic things, I'm sorry, but liberating ourselves is never going to happen. It is never going to happen. We can continue lying to ourselves. But for that to happen, we need to start somewhere. Like we need to be strong. We don't need to be swayed by materialistic things. Imagine a slave depending on his master. That slave is always going to be a slave. That slave is never going to break free from the chains. So we need to have principled people. We need to be principled people for our country to get where we want. Otherwise, we will remain a Mickey Mouse country if we don't have principle, if we don't have the fortitude. You need fortitude to liberate yourself. You need to resist. That's what the word says, resistance. Resist. So why are you giving in to temptation? Why are you telling people to give in to temptations? That way, we'll never be free. I promise you. We'll 10 years making analysis, but if we can't resist temptations, yeah, we'll always be the way we are, a Mickey Mouse people with a Mickey Mouse country. So let's have principles, let's have ethics, let's resist temptations. Thank you.
Thank you, Consent. Commanders, are you back? Do you want to respond in 1 minute to someone? Commanders, I saw you back. Okay, no problem. Let me know if you want to say something there. GD Travel, then. No. There's someone that I see. Dr. Nyat, yeah. It's Dr. Nyat, GD Travel Senior. Then we come to Imbi. So, come Imbi. So, yeah, thank you for joining. Dr. Nyat, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Kumaskot. What I think, these things is so straightforward. There is no amount of jargons, technicalities. ZANU-PF is very straight in what they want to achieve here. By giving people cash and cars, ZANU-PF is directly just try to capture our minds and confuse us. Simply just because we are now a people of no integrity, but we want to achieve something, we now begin to justify why ZANU-PF is giving people money. But the reality is that one cannot going to do it today. The reason why some of us are now warming up to these cars and money. But yesterday we were so critical about this initiative. It is just because we have now taken too long focusing and covering on those who have been given money. By so doing, we become changed to that. If you take too long on a certain environment, you are not even brave enough to criticize Zenzele. It is the reason why we are now having this confusion. We must not change our goalpost and the benchmarks whenever one of us have done that same. That compromise is so dangerous. If I'm your young brother Scotty, whatever I've done is bad or not in the interest of the people, we must not change goalpost. We must not change standards. We must not change the way we conduct ourselves because that is my mother or that is my sister. Yeah, we'll be missing it. I think most people here, they cannot warm up to critique Zenzele simply just because he's one of us. We have been conversing with him. We have interacted cars and money because Japanese commands a following. Let me just tell you the power of the following that these musicians enjoy. They have got a lot of people who are following them, so they are a voice. So when our voice is being captured, what it means is that all those 60 million followers of Japanese, they'll end up one day going to agree to say that at least the man has received something from the government. It means 60,000 people have been silenced by one car or by just talking of $100,000. That is what is happening. There are a lot of people who are suffering in Zimbabwe. The government and its proponents are not even willing to help patients at Paranyato who are denied access of health, maybe just because they doesn't have even $10 for consultation at Paranyato. But you find in one individual is given a 300 series Toyota that costs 300, maybe 250,000 and 200,000 cash. There is no sincerity in such givings and donations. Those are not donations, as they say. How do you donate to a rich person? Can you tell me? If it's a donation, how do you donate to Japanese? And you are repeatedly doing it. So there is a motive behind, which we are lacking just because we are a leaderless nation. That's the danger of just being growing up without morals. You know, we need to somehow be very true to ourselves. If we say we don't want this, let it be, no matter who have done it. Now, it's very unfortunate that today we seem to be like saying maybe it's Zenzele. No, it's better because Zenzele has been doing this, it has been doing that. But if I tell you, to those who have been given money and cars, they find themselves in certain spaces, they are doing something. Simply just because those people maybe they are not of our likes, we begin to critique them. Now it's one of us who have been given cash, we celebrate those double standards. is the genesis of our fall. We're soon also going to receive it, and we justify, because everyone who received those cars and money still finds a reason of receiving it. So then what becomes to us as a nation? If Macheso receive a car from ZANU-PF, he still finds a reason to justify that. So are we now saying today those cars and money that ZANU-PF is splashing on people who are even our icons,
I'll
maybe?
give you 1 minute to land. 1 minute 30 seconds to land, my leader.
Yes. So what have changed today to say the gift of Zenzel is even better? I think the guy who was trying to highlight the issue of Nzira Masoja, that's the social consciousness that typically is derived from songs from our musicians. Maybe you know that as a module in. I think it have to do with to say don't receive as we are in this struggle. It goes. Don't receive anything from the enemy, because one way or another it have got an influence. It will just influence you as you go. That was the concept of it. If Ian Sims comes to you and say that no, let me give you this, don't receive it. That was the lyrics of that song. Don't receive anything from Ian Smith, is since we are in this struggle, because those gifts and trinkets, they've got a tendency of compromising you tomorrow, not now. So yes, receive God today, but tomorrow you will not be able, you will not be in a better position to criticize the same ZANU-PF. That is the principle of it.